Casual Talk with Jade and me.
So I want to talk about this whole thing that's going around about the Little Mermaid. Because it's Halle, that's her name? Halle,
Yeah, I think so.
Halle Bailey.
Yeah.
And it's like an uproar or something. Like, first of all, I saw, what's her name? Taraji had posted like a lot of videos of black kids, like parents making them watch it, and they like all getting excited, and then when it showed, they're like, oh my gosh, she's black. And I'm like, is this a really natural
I was just about to, because I didn't even know that.
Like, if my son would have saw it, he wouldn't have been like, oh look, she's black. He would have just been like, oh, another mermaid.
Right? Because I was like, how do these kids know that that's a thing? Like, oh my God, everybody else is white. She's like, I don't believe that.
And them kids on there look like they was around the same age. So I'm just like,
how do y'all know to be surprised?
Yeah.
Or to be happy that somebody's black?
It was a little off for me. I mean, I'm happy for her though. Like, I think it's really cool. But I've been seeing other commenters come in and say like, this is not this isn't the mermaid we grew up on. Why are they changing it and stuff like that? What's your opinion on those commenters, Jade?
I feel like they are entitled to their opinions. I feel like they grew up with a white mermaid. Like, didn't we all? And I feel like, yeah, they always trying to change some shit and include people. So I totally understand where they're coming from. Do I care that she's black or white? No. Because I never really cared about the Little Mermaid anyway. But I do feel like if we gonna do it, like, do it right. She should have been fucking white. Like, y'all could have gave Halle Bailey another movie to do. She didn't have to do that.
Oh yeah, or create a spin-off of the mermaid. Like, let's.
It didn't have to do that. Y'all could have just did something else. She could have had a whole nother movie role.
Yeah, I agree with her, because that's like coming up, making Pocahontas and making her white, even though she was Native American, whatever that.
Or making her black, or making her Indian. Like, what the fuck?
Indian.
No, I ain't talking about that. She was Native American. I'm talking about actual Indians.
Right. But like, yeah, what she's saying though, like that'd be like, what? Why y'all doing that to Pocahontas? She was good how she was. Like, so I kind of agree with Jay. Like, why change it? Like, what was the necessity?
It ain't broke, don't fix it.
And why is all the excitement behind her being black? It was a little odd to me, I guess.
And I feel like in 2022, this ain't something we should be getting excited about still. Like, this is not 1960s, 70s, 80s.
Nobody was oppressed over not being able to be Little Mermaid. Like, I don't get it.
Like, this wasn't even a thing. Y'all made it a thing to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for instance, like, we got Black Panther, right? He wasn't stealing nobody's role. Like, this was something that was created for him.
Leave it for him. Now, that'll be in another 50 fucking years. He gonna be white.
Yeah, and then like we'll be like, why y'all changing white? We
grew up
just
like exactly.
This. Like, so, and
they're entitled to their opinions.
Now I am mad at them for them weak ass cartoons they was making. They talking about some Little Mermaid. Too bad. No, she was like the first Little Mermaid had a daddy. She's not. Like, those kind of jabs are very unnecessary.
It's a little disrespectful because she's black. Come on, bro. That's not right. But I do want to compare it to I seen on the Shade Room that they're supposed to be remaking The Wiz. And in The Wiz, now this is funny to me because in The Wiz, the director said it's going to include LGBTQ characters. So everybody mad now. Like, oh my God, why change it?
Especially
who was gay?
He's on down guy.
Who?
Michael Jackson, the Scarecrow.
You got him fucked up. No, he wasn't gay.
I thought he was already gay.
Anyway, he wasn't out. But anyway, now people are upset that they changing things for the LGBTQ community. So what's the difference with the Little Mermaid?
How are we gonna know that they're gay now? Because there was no sexual preference in these movies.
Exactly, like that's the dumbest shit ever. But I also feel like, when is it okay to be upset about changing characters in movies? Because a lot of people are upset about the Little Mermaid. However, the black community, this is the point I'm trying to make, the black community specifically is all for the Little Mermaid being changed. However, the black community still is so upset that they changing characters in The Wiz though. So when is it okay and not okay?
I just feel like motherfuckers just need something to be mad about.
I definitely do.
Y'all sit in the house and be like, let me scroll and see what's gonna make me angry today.
I definitely am. It's unnecessary.
Yeah,
it's unnecessary. Reaching hard as hell.
I just thought I'd mention that, like, cut it out with Black Mermaid. Like, good
role. In the role of Kourtney Kardashian.
In
the voice of Kourtney Kardashian. People are dying. There's bigger fish to fry.
Speaking of people dying, that goes into the next topic I wanted to talk about with the United States and Ukraine, right? So another meme I saw, all this stuff be coming to my head off of what I see going on on social media. They had showed like people in Flint, Michigan, and it was another place of like people drowning, and the white people, not the white people, but the government was looking at Ukraine like, let me help you, but ignoring them over there.
Oh, I did see that. I saw that. Like you said, Flint, Michigan, and Mississippi. I saw that.
I can't stand the government, and the fact that a lot of people act oblivious to this. They only helping Ukraine because Ukraine overly supports them financially. They would not be doing that for other countries like Africa, for instance.
Of course,
like
not.
you know,
It's Africa.
You know, and so not only that, but if they come and save them, they get some type of ownership with that too. It's all like motives. Like it sucks. Like
it's politics.
Fix what y'all broke at home before y'all started.
No, because we can't fix what we broke at home. Because what did you just say? Mm-hmm. They get stuff from Ukraine. What the fuck? What they getting from? Yeah, exactly. We're gonna gain by helping y'all. No, figure it out.
We gotta take care of y'all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no. They can figure that out themselves. That's what I like to do. I like to think of things from other people's perspectives, and that's exactly how the government's probably looking at it. Like, Flint, Michigan, it was going down anyway. Like, Mississippi, you was on the cliff anyway. Like, Ukraine, we can help them. They offer us things.
Politicians and the government has been assholes since the beginning of the time, and I don't like it.
I respect it.
It's just another organized crime, and that's why I had made this statement once. I was like, the government is just a big organized crime similar to like gangs organizations that we see today, but because they ain't as big as the government, y'all frown upon them, like send them to jail. They so corrupt. So is these people y'all paying taxes to. It's extortion. They're extorting you guys. There's no reason
they're extorting us.
They extort us. Like, there's no reason I should have to pay a sticker every year for my car. Like, if this is extortion,
yeah, it is. And then y'all keep raising the prices.
Stick on the window and on the plate. Like, let's hit them 2 times. Like, talking about 2 times. Like, I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it.
We'll be bringing in a guest for the second part of the show. His expertise is being from the streets of Chicago. Like, so he's going to give a street opinion. We're back with the second part of the show. We have Michael here. Introduce yourself so the viewers know who you are.
Mike Lowry. That's my real name, by the way. Streets know me by either Mike Stone, Scrappy, or Mikey.
So we just, we want to continue off from the last conversation that we had when we were talking about 21 Savage and basically how the music can influence the listeners in a negative way, especially when you're someone like 21 Savage who claims that you're just doing it for entertainment, but you're rapping about violence. Like, so we just wanted to piggyback off of that and go further into basically like media and broadcasting totally. Like Mike was saying, like movies also have negative influences on the youth and things like that, but you don't really hear people like criticizing it as much. You wanted to speak more on how you felt about that?
Yeah, first and foremost, I had seen the snippet of it, so I apologize if I didn't fully digest the whole podcast in its entirety. But however, just the part that I heard, it caused me to get a little bit defensive, right? First and foremost, because I was like, hold on, this is just entertainment. You know what I mean? So entertainment is meant to entertain people. It's not telling you to actually go out there and do whatever the hell's going on in these rhymes or these lyrics or whatever. And that caused me to come to the point where I told you, well, like, what about movies? You know what I mean? Like, I had heard y'all quotes from Jay-Z on there, so I was like, okay, Jay-Z in one of his songs as well, he was like, Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper to me. You know what I mean? So I know me growing up, visuals was everything, especially when it came to like movies. Like, let's just remove this shit from like the street and then let's just talk about like what we saw like in movies and TV shows and things of such that had a bigger influence on me than actual lyrics. When I was a kid and I used to listen to rappers like Tupac or whatever, I really couldn't fully digest the things that they was talking about until I got older. However, when it came to like movies and television shows or whatever, I visualized this shit because it was a visual of what was going on and a representation of the life that I was either growing up in or I was either living. one of the biggest movies that had an impact on me back then was New Jersey Drive.
Why you laughing? Because I ain't that movie. But
Nah, but the reason, because I was stealing cars then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I saw these dudes like stealing cars, I'm like, okay, this shit, like,
I can relate.
you see what I'm saying? So that had a bigger impact on me than.
But see,
actual
you was
lyrics.
already stealing cars.
That also, I was gonna add, what particular character on there did you feel like, man, this is real life, man, he really doing this shit, he just like me, or did you feel like
All of them.
But see, it's a difference though, like you just said, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a difference with movies and music, because like you said, which character, you know that they're playing a role, but in music, they're portraying it as though they are doing this. So it's a different type of influence. Like, you know they're playing a role in the movie, like this is not real, they don't go beyond it, but you thinking when they out here talking about this in their music that they're actually doing this, and you want to relate, and because it seemed cool to, well, not you, but like, you know, to the youth or whoever. Yeah, exactly. And then I wanted to say that the difference with movies and music is a lot of us are not sitting at home watching a movie and then we go out and do something. A lot of us are riding around in our cars listening to music and it influences us to do something. Like we already outside with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
unless it was in the reverse, why you said you was already stealing cars, so it was like the reverse for you. You did it already, then you watch the movie like, dang, look, they doing what I'm doing, opposed to seeing them do it and saying, I want to go do this now.
Right.
I mean, but that's just environmental things. Like when it comes to like whether it's cinematic or whether it's just like music or whatever, you're gonna gravitate more so towards what's going on in your community or what's going on in your environment.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? It's easy for a person to say that never really, and I ain't saying that you really never lived that life, but I know you ain't really never lived that life that, you know what I'm saying, I possibly have, or whatever, but when you ain't lived that life, it's easy to critique that life. You know what I mean?
No, we're not critiquing the life.
But you are, a little bit.
No. We're not critiquing the life. We critiquing artists like 21 Savage.
Because when he came out, people really thought he was like
in this life.
Like, and because when this was, probably like in 2016, 2017. Like, I literally remember when this nigga first came out and people thought like, man, like he really like killing shit. Like, man, it wasn't until a little later on into his career when we started, like after he got with Amber Rose, for example, when we started to feel like he might not be that bad, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but when he first came out, that was his perception that he gave off to us, like, because he wasn't really talking, he was just walking around, and then you heard his lyrics and whatever. But we definitely not critiquing the lifestyle or whatever.
No,
it's more so like we know people like you that live the lifestyle, so we feel like you're making a mockery of the niggas that we.
That's what we
saying. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we saying.
And that's a whole different subject and a whole different topic. But
no, that was a topic.
but like, no, you said you feeling like they making a mockery. Me personally, a nigga that actually lived that life, I don't feel like you making a mockery of the life that I was living, because I see through you, nigga. I know you an actor. I know you Ben Affleck in a different form. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. Hold on.
I get totally what you're saying.
But for the youth, that's something different. Now we going back to like what I said, like parenting, environmental shit. You know what I mean? Growing up around fraudulent motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Authenticity is authenticity. You know what I mean? You can't fucking duplicate it or whatever, right? So.
But that's what they're doing.
That's what they attempting to do.
But is that his fault?
Yes.
How?
It ain't,
because it's his music.
It's not completely his fault. It's his person who's telling him to do it or encouraging him to do it. I think they play a role in it too. Because like you said, like if you didn't live that lifestyle, nor did you grow up with people living that lifestyle, but for instance, you watching movies or you watching different things like this, and you decide, as I'm writing a story, I'm going to say this. Like Ice Cube, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube didn't do a lot of the things that he rapped about, but he saw it happening, he wrote it down, he made music from it or whatever.
So whose fault is that?
That was Ice Cube.
Thank you.
But I'm like,
it ain't. We don't know his life.
Okay, so all girls like Drake, right?
Not really.
I know. She probably.
Anyway, most girls, you just an exception to the fucking rule, but most girls like Drake, and a lot of niggas do too. I'm one of those dudes that like him, you know what I mean? Because he he stipulate or he say in certain shit like, you know what I mean? He talk gangster sometimes, but it just go over and under people's head. You know what I mean? However, he ain't live that life, but he tell you that he ain't live that life. However, he spit some shit out there that'll make you think like he with some fucking people that's living that life.
He might be with some people that's living that life.
But I don't feel the same way towards Drake as I feel about 21 Savage.
I'm not trying to equate the two, so let's not misunderstand it or misconstrue what it is. The point that I'm trying to make. However, the point that I'm trying to make is that it's all entertainment. However you slice it, you know what I mean. Y'all might take it a little personal because it's like, okay, you making a mockery out of the niggas that we knew and the niggas that we grew up with. This shit, we know what this jail shit like. We know what this street shit like. We know what going to funerals like. We know what this shit like. And you just playing. You playing behind a microphone and a spit screen, nigga. Like, this ain't really you. However, a real street nigga gonna be like, nigga, go ahead and do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Say what you need to say. I know you a phony, but if it's gonna make you some money, and possibly if I can get on board with that nigga to help push him to make some money, I'm with it.
Do you feel like he can influence your sons?
No.
Because you got a bigger hand in your son's raising, is that why? Like, cause if they was like fans of his, you don't think that would influence them? No.
Especially since it takes a village to raise.
And you know how real it is, but they want to play with it because they done heard him.
Not necessarily because with my kids, it's like one of my sons, he used to play the game, so he used to like the little boy from Texas, Travis Scott. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I talk to him and ask certain questions, you know what I mean? And I talk to my son about certain things. Like, even if my son playing a game, like Fortnite or something, or whatever, or they playing with Nerf guns or whatever, I talk to him about it. I ask questions because I want to know what's the inner workings of your brain. Like, what is this for fun, or is you trying to reenact some shit, or you trying to, because now if it's for fun, then I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. But if you try to reenact some shit, now I gotta address you and parent you the way that I need to parent you as a father.
Of course.
Or whatever. So to go back to your initial question was that, do I think that one of those rappers could be able to influence my child? No, because I'm a nigga that actually lived it and a nigga that actually been through it and know how to correct his behavior when it's going outside of the lines of entertainment.
So just imagine this situation, like something happened to the kid's father. Like the father, just like you've been through anything, but now he passed away, or now he's locked up and he can't even speak to him for whatever reason, can't speak to him. Now you're influenced by this person. I'm not there to guide you in the right direction. Like those, when me and Jade was making our statements about this, is those situations that we
had in mind.
Yeah, you know, we feel frustrated about, because we know there are situations like that where it's like, maybe he heard about his daddy and heard his daddy did some shooting stuff, but he don't know details like you can give him when you're here.
And then you
have this, you have this guy that's like rapping about it, saying like this, and it's like, man, my daddy did this. He make it sound cool. Like, yeah, let's do this or whatever.
And also, I do want to say, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to say, going back to the original point of we don't like basically talk about movies influencing people enough, because I want to say like the genre of movies that you're talking about influencing the youth, we have not that many of them, but the genre of music that we have influencing youth is numerous, it's countless. You get what I'm saying? It's so much easier to find a song than it is to find a movie.
Nowadays, because I was thinking that when you were saying like us growing up, we had the movies. So like some of the movies that was like
our kids don't even watch. They don't know nothing about it. And stuff like they don't know the movies.
Blue Hill Avenue, Goodfellas, like Belly, like all those.
These kids ain't watching it. And like I don't really know like what's the gangster movies today.
It ain't necessarily just gotta see now you boxing shit in. It ain't even gotta be. Let's just talk about Pretty Woman. It's a lot of females out here that love that movie. You know
absolutely, and for that generation of women, how long ago was Pretty Woman? These kids today not watching it. Like. These kids ain't watching Pretty Woman.
Not her generation, but yeah.
I know what you mean.
But I'm just using that as a measuring stick. Or
that's what I'm saying though. That's what
we would have to use something that's current, like 21 Savage.
Let's think of something.
I mean, I really don't watch
say like
movies like that. Not though.
And a lot of people don't. Like a lot of they got YouTube movies that these kids are watching that we don't even know about because we ain't into it. But those YouTube shows are influencing them. So that's, I think, a point that should be had.
Yeah,
Minus
I
what they do, YouTube reality shows.
And going back to what you was talking about was what if the father's not here to be able to give that redirection or give that experience, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better expression, when it comes to that goes back to what she was saying. Oh, it take a village. So if it take a village, if you a nigga in the street, you know what type of people to have in your village. You know what I mean?
That's not always in your control though.
We from the streets, you know these niggas don't be doing nothing. I think one time you even told me about a dude who had his son live in the same neighborhood and he'll walk past like he ain't even like. You don't even know this. Like, it ain't that you don't know it's him, but you ain't acknowledging it. Like, you know, I'm at home, mom, I'm just working. Or maybe you talking about, I don't know. But I know it happens in our community. And it's like.
Products of your environment is true.
What happened to the village that support each other?
But at the same, actually, that was me that told you that. But at the same time, I'm the same person that'll be like, hey, little man, hey, such, or this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's my duty because your daddy, my man. You know what I'm saying? Even if he ain't completely standing on his 10 toes when it comes to you the way he's supposed to, I feel like it's my duty as being his man to, you know what I mean, correct whatever type of behavior that's going on that's within my limits or within my power, you know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I mean? That's just the cloth that I'm cut from. That's just the era that I grew up in or whatever. It do take a village, and that's why the streets the way they is now. That's why niggas able to be influenced by 21 Savage, you know what I mean? Because nowadays the streets is reflecting music opposed to how music used to actually reflect the streets back then. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't on the art. I can't fault no artist, man, for want to be a great actor when it comes to being in this gangster shit or whatever the case may be. Because if that's your fucking way out, then that's your fucking way out. I'm not going to critique it or I ain't going to judge it. Now, if I knew that nigga on a personal level, then I'd be able to say some things like...
I think that's a weak argument only for the fact that you just said you can't knock him for basically his hustle. We knock niggas all the time for their hustle.
Yeah, some people that
we a judge motherfucker out here selling drugs. You can't blame him because he's selling drugs.
So why you don't judge, and excuse me the way that I express this, but why y'all don't judge white people for gentrification?
Oh, we definitely do.
Okay.
We definitely do.
we was just judging the government.
Thank you.
We definitely do.
Right.
We keep our foot on it.
Because this show is about awareness. So it's again, and well, from my standpoint, not Jade's, I don't really think it's a right or wrong thing, but you need to be aware of how you're influencing people, aware of the reactions and the outcomes, and don't act naive to them. So that's what a lot of these conversations be about, you know.
Yeah, we just want y'all to know what's really going on out here. And like you just said, we want y'all to stop being naive and acting oblivious to the shit. Now, for some of y'all really stupid and don't know. But and it's crazy to me because it's 2022.
And if
come on, bro.
And with this awareness, if we can get more people like he was saying, like bring this village support back, you know, because we are aware that there are entertainers out here who purely doing it for entertainment, but we also know the influences it can have. Like, so we need more people that's redirecting this shit for our young kids.
But okay, so in jail they got some shit that's called just because you ignorant of the law don't mean that you know you ain't held accountable, right?
Absolutely.
So the same thing that could be applied to the street, right? Niggas ignorant, like you said. People, you use the word stupid.
Stupid. She's very harsh.
You know, so some people just ignorant to certain things, right? So certain people don't understand. Like these little niggas that's out here, they getting clout, they holding guns upside down, they doing they shit. You know what I mean? That's what's getting them the clout. However, people don't know the inner workings of that jail like I do. Niggas don't know what behind that wall like. Niggas don't know like what that time feel like or whatever. Every day you doing. Niggas fall off. Females that you fuck with fall off. You know what I mean? Little brothers or little sisters that you went to the joint with that was 18 months. You get out now, she 18. You feel me? Niggas don't know what that's like. So I try not to really judge them on the shit that they don't know. I just try to talk to them the best way that I can talk to them. And if I see it ain't no reaching them, then all right, nigga, go ahead. You learn the best way that you possibly can learn. You know what I mean? Because I did my due diligence as a nigga that went through the streets and made the transition from one way of living to another way of living. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they definitely know. Like a lot of these entertainers and actors, they definitely know the influence that they hold, because that's why 21 Savage made that statement saying this is a song for entertainment. Like he felt the need to defend himself.
Cause you was like he didn't have to respond to the spectators.
He did not. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He did not have to respond to that. But going back to when you was saying, like, you know, if you was to encounter like a kid that, you know, didn't have a father and stuff like that, that you know, you fucked with his mans and shit, and you was saying that's the cloth you're cut from. And I wanted to make that point. You saying that's how you know shit ain't what it's supposed to be, because you even just said that's cloth you're cut from. You ain't mentioned no other guys with you.
But it ain't enough fabric for everybody to be cut from the same cloth.
Is.
So with that being said, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be one without the other. You just I'm not projecting this on your thoughts because I'm not in your head and I actually don't know what you think, and I only go off what you're saying. But however, how I'm interpreting it is as though you thinking that I'm thinking that I feel like everybody should abide by one set of fucking rules. No, it don't work like that.
Why not?
Unfortunately, it don't.
It don't, because it's interdependency, right? So everything needs something to survive and thrive. You feel me? It ain't no way. Life doesn't exist without that. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody is different, and that's what I always tell her. Like, no one, two people is the same. They're gonna see things different and everything, so it can't move the same way. But just speaking on what we speaking on, it was the thought I had when I was like, I don't like judgment that much. So because the reason why I don't like it is
judge the fuck out of you. Go ahead.
because specifically the mainstream of people who are doing well, they look at kids from Chicago, young men from Chicago specifically, and they judge them so harshly on the actions they're choosing to do without knowing what situations they're dealing with in order that's making them have to go through that. So that's why I don't really like to judge it. So some of these choices that they make, I wouldn't make them. I wish they wouldn't make them, but my back don't be against the wall like theirs be sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. Not only is my back not against the wall, but I have more knowledge than they have. They only influences might be like, this is the only way you can survive. This is the only way you can go get money or whatever the case may be. So now I have to choose this route because this is all I know. Like, so that's why I don't like them to really judge them so harshly, because it's like, this is what they was set up to. Like, they was kind of born to fail in some cases.
Of course, no, I ain't saying that. Like I said earlier, for a few to be great, many have to be least. But you also know that certain things are wrong. You also know. And I mean, we talked about this before, the whole common sense thing. Now, granted, you always got to factor in whose common sense you're talking about. But you don't have to be told not to steal. You don't have to be told not to do drugs.
Let me stop you right there. How? No, like if you grew up and this was normal,
somebody done told you not to.
Listen, that's your
somebody,
opinion.
Nah,
that's your
fact.
opinion. No,
that's
it's not. It's not a fact. A
so
fact
everybody
is something.
knows. Everybody
a fact
knows.
is something.
It's called steal for a reason.
Now we can play word games.
I'm just saying it's called steal for a reason.
But listen. If you grew up in a household where this was normal, then it's normal. To not steal is abnormal.
Just because something is normal, don't make it normal.
So she was saying you're gonna, cause I was basically saying the same thing you were saying when she had brought this up, and she was saying the truth is always gonna come to light. You're gonna know that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
at some point in your life,
whether you get arrested for it, now that's how you know it's wrong. Whether somebody retaliates on you, that's how you know it's wrong. Whether you just have a bad conscience, like damn, I shouldn't took that stuff. That's how you know it's wrong. So that was like.
But your consciousness builds off your core values, your core what's been instilled in you. So if it's not wrong, if I haven't grew up to feel like stealing is wrong, then how the fuck is it wrong?
But so I would contradict that, because every person in not only person but movies I've seen, when it comes to killing somebody, they say every time I kill my first person, it does something to you. You keep seeing that same person over and over again. But everybody you grew up with was always killing
but
people.
that's a
they always
movie.
Been killed. I said personal too.
Yeah, and don't even reflect life. Don't imitate life.
In some forms, yeah, it does.
Because where they get that thought process from. They would have had to get that from
and
the actual.
I've heard people in person say it too, though. So that's what I'm saying. It's
damn, yeah, I know some killers.
Shut up.
But that could be just something that a person just taking in. And, you know, I ain't about to even, you know what I mean, go to that point. But, you know what I mean, that's just some shit that some people probably took in. Everybody that kills somebody, not like, oh, that shit hurt me, or it make it easy, or it make that's, and from certain perspectives, you know what I'm saying, that's a fucking lie. You know what I mean?
So you would say a person probably never ever felt no type of feeling after killing someone.
Some have, some haven't. It's
A mental illness person. Go off.
Well, all I'm saying is I see what you're saying about the norm and things that you're influenced and you taught around you. So, you know, it's like, it's okay, this is what we fucking do. But at the same time, about it being like, the truth does always come to the light. You do feel it in some type of way. There's no way in avoiding it. So
whether you take heed to it or not, you're gonna know eventually that what you are doing is wrong or it is frowned upon. I need people to understand. You can absolutely judge somebody when they are wrong. Yes, you can. If you are wrong, you are allowed to tell somebody they wrong. So when they're wrong, you have to tell them they wrong. It don't matter because you don't want to hurt their feelings or you don't want to hurt a community. So what? If they wrong,